What's up, everybody? What's going on? Hope everybody's having a good Sunday. This is Gary with Cvpoolpros, Crystal Vision Pools. I am coming at you with another pool school video. There's Tammy. This pool school video, as you can see, it says extreme heat. So, how to battle the extreme heat. All right.
Get ice cream and stay inside.
Okay. Speaking of which,
Italian ice.
no ice cream, but I think that's on the menu. Anyway, so real quick, number one, with this extreme heat, whether it's sun or just radiant heat and bodies in the pool, bather load, you're going to want to keep your water level a little higher. There's two screws. There's the set of screws on the top of the skimmer, set of screws on the side, on the bottom of the skimmer. The skimmer is the box where the water goes in. Okay, it goes back to your filter. So where the water gets sucked in. Where you empty the skimmer basket, that's your skimmer, for those of you who don't know. Now, there's the screws on the top, there's screws on the bottom, and then there's screws on the side, too, by themselves. You want to keep it at the top one. You can even keep it a little bit above the top one. There's probably about that much space between the bottom screw and the very top of the inside of the skimmer mouth. You want it halfway between the two max. You still want room between the top of the water level and the top of the inside of the skimmer throat, skimmer mouth. Okay, but I would bring your water level up. That'll help. That'll help lessen the amount of time you have to fill it up from evaporation and splash out. Okay, so I would keep your water level a little higher. If you're not sure, hit us up. But if you look at those two side screws, if you're not sure about how much higher than the top screw, just go to the top screw and leave it there, right at the center of the top screw, or right at the top of that top side screw. Okay. All right. Now, chemistry. Number one, if you have a big bather load, you have any bather load. If anybody is wearing suntan lotion, which a lot of you do, first of all, that messes with your chemistry. Secondly, the filter system does not like suntan lotion. Most suntan lotion will go right through and it'll cloud your pool up. So what you want to do is you want to be backwashing that. If you have people, public pools, you ever go to a public pool, they usually have a sign that says shower before you go into the pool. The reason they do that is because they all run on sand filters. Now, really, any filters can cloud up with suntan lotion because suntan lotion is liquidy. So it can go through, it can even, some of it can even go through DE because it's just very, very, it's liquidy. Water goes through DE. So, if you start clouding up, you're going to want to backwash that pool as quickly as possible. Okay? If you have people in your pool all day long, like if you're throwing a party on Saturday, okay, I would highly recommend backwashing it every 2 to 3 hours. I would backwash it. Or take your grids or backwash it and then re-DE it, backwash it if it's sand, or if it's a cartridge, take your cartridge out and clean it. Okay? Because that stuff's going to go through and it's going to get back in your pool and that's going to cloud up your water. And cloudy water in a pool is actually unsafe. You can't see people in the pool. All right? That's why, my brain's fried today. It's number one, it's Sunday. Number two, we've been out in the heat for a little bit. We had to go get a new air conditioner and stuff like that. They will shut you down if they come and see that, like a public pool. If they see a public pool's cloudy, they'll shut it down. You're not allowed in it because if you can't see down in the main drain, you can't see if anybody's down there and gets stuck down there. All right. So, just not safe to have a cloudy pool, and it just doesn't look nice. So you want to get rid of that, okay? Yes, John, that is correct. When you backwash, if you have a DE filter, the diatomaceous earth filter, that is correct. You're getting rid of the DE, so yes, you will have to add more. You're 100% correct. Now, I also have a trick for that. So that you don't over DE your filter, because a lot of people don't understand this. There's a lot of pool companies that don't understand this. When you backwash your filter, your DE filter, you're never getting a full amount of DE out because you don't backwash long enough. And even if you do backwash for a long period of time, you're never getting it all out unless you take it out and physically hose down like we do when we close a pool. We take the DE filter, the DE grids out, and we physically, or the DE filters, depending on which one you have, we clean them off with a hose and make sure that there's absolutely no DE at all on them. You're never going to get that through backwashing. So when you put DE back in, the first time you backwash from brand new fresh, we're talking, let's say you just bought a brand new filter and you hooked it up, or you just opened the pool and it was cleaned when it was closed, which is when you're supposed to clean them, and you're putting fresh in. When you put the fresh in, if you're, let's just say your filter system calls for 6, which most of the 48 square foot filters do. They call for 6 pounds of DE. You put the 6 in. The first time you backwash, most people backwash a little extra, okay? So put in 5. Put 5 back in. Every time after that, when you backwash, only put 4 back in. This way, you're never overloading the filter because you're never getting all 6 pounds out unless you physically take it out and hose it down, okay? So only put 4 back in after the initial backwash, okay? After the first backwash that you do, anytime you backwash after that, only put 4 in, okay? Now, unless you take it apart and you clean it with a hose real good, if you do that, then you want to put 6 in, okay? If you don't understand that, guys, please hit me up and I'll explain it to you better. That really is the best way I can explain it. But if you don't understand it, please. You're welcome, John. You're welcome, buddy. That's why I do this, my friend. No, it's John Wagner. He's actually watched us before. Tammy says hi. So, John, that's why I do this, my friend. I do this to give information. And thank you for watching. I appreciate it. Oh, yeah, and I'll get to that in a minute. Just remind me about that, hon. I'll get to that in a minute. We will be doing the Q&A. Well, you know what? I'll just say it now. So we will be doing a Q&A. Our Q&A lives are going to start the first of every month. So you'll be another week and a half or so. We'll be doing our first Q&A live. And what that'll be is we're just going to come on here. We're not coming on here to necessarily talk about anything, although we might talk about stuff. But we're doing it so that people can come on here and ask us questions about your pools. Chemistry, whatever it is you want to ask, and we'll answer it to the best of our ability. It's kind of our way of giving back to the pool ownership community, and try to help, especially do-it-yourselfers, try to help you guys out to give you information. All right, that's why we're going to do it. Okay, so we are going to do a Q&A. Just figure it's going to be usually the first of each month. Okay, we're only going to do it once a month. Okay. If you have a sand filter or a cartridge filter, sand filter, let me say this one first, and I'm going to say this one first for a reason. So a sand filter, if you... Thank you, John. We appreciate that, buddy. We thought so, too. We appreciate that. Thank you. We've gotten a lot of people said, hell yeah, we're going to tune in. Thank you, buddy. We appreciate that. We appreciate all the support. You guys have been awesome. So if you have a sand filter, what? Oh. If you have a sand filter and you're not using the filter that the filter sand that we are using, I know there's other sands out there that are supposed to be as good. I'm going to tell you what we use in all of our customers' pools that we put sand filters on. And I'm also going to tell you we're switching a lot of people over from both cartridge and DE to sand. Here's why. I'm going to give you a reason. The sand that we use, it's called Bright Line. Bright Line. Hun, is it B-R-I-G-H-T or B-R-I-T-E? Okay. B-R-I-T-E-L-I-N-E. Bright Line sand. It's got glass particles in it. I'm telling you guys, it's amazing. DE filters down to between 1 and 3 microns. That sand filters down to between 2 and 5. It's almost DE. It is DE quality. You're not going to notice a 1 to 2 micron difference with the human eye. You're not going to notice it. I'm telling you, that sand is awesome. That is what we put in every sand pool that we do a sand change on, or that we change over from either cartridge or DE. And here's the badass thing about it. Once the sand is in there, you don't add anything to it. You backwash, you rinse, you're done. Okay? Let me tell you how easy that is real quick. You turn the system off. You turn your multi-port to backwash, which is usually the one, it's always the one 150 degrees away. It's a half a circle away. You make sure the little tab on your key assembly handle that you push down, you make sure the tab locks in to the backwash. You turn your system back on. You put your finger under the sight glass. This is how I do it. Even if I can see the water, I put my finger under the sight glass, whether it's my index finger or my pinky. Put it under the sight glass. Don't count yet. Watch to see your finger again. It's going to get nasty. It's going to get dirty. Once you can see your finger again pretty clearly, you count a 10 to 15 second count. If you get to 10 to 15 seconds and you can still see your finger, turn it off. Go to rinse. Lock it into rinse. Turn it on. Count to 10 seconds. Turn it off. Go back to filter. Turn it on. Walk away. You're done. You have nothing to add. You're done. Okay? Let me go back to the counting part for a second. If you get to, say you get to 10 seconds and you see it start clouding up again, or you get to 8 seconds, or you do up to 15, you get to 12 or 13 seconds, and you see it start clouding up again, let it go. Let it go until you can see that finger again. Once you can see that finger again and it stays clear, I would do a 15-second count because it gives it more time. You have to think about something. A sand filter picks dirt up in stages. It lets it out in stages as well. A lot of companies don't tell people that. You don't start backwashing and count 30 seconds and you're done. That's not how that works. If you put it in backwash, when you turn that on, it might take 15 to 30 seconds before water even starts coming out nasty. If that's the case, guess what? You're not backwashing anything. You're not even doing anything. All you're doing is wasting water. You didn't backwash anything. So watch for it to come out dirty. Then put your finger under the sight glass and watch that sight glass. Okay? The reason you go to rinse basically in a just a quick way to put it is it relevels the bed of sand in the tank. You want to do that. Okay? All right. Now, cartridge filter. Take your cartridge filters out and clean them after a bather load, especially if anybody was wearing suntan lotion. Okay? Now, the way you can tell if people are wearing suntan lotion when you go to backwash, whether it's DE or sand, it's more sand really than DE, but you will notice it with a DE as well. It will be like a sandish, tan, nasty, light chocolate milky type color. That's usually suntan lotion. That's usually how we can tell if somebody, like when people tell us, oh, nobody wears suntan lotion. Don't bullshit us because we can tell.
I would highly recommend to keep the longevity of grids and your sand if
you don't wear any.
Right. Well, wear it, but wear it when you're out of the pool. Rinse it off. Get a hose and stand outside before you get in.
Yeah, because it also messes with your
And-
chemistry.
Right. And if somebody's really sweaty and dirty for the day, or you come home and you're covered in grime, don't get into the pool.
Yeah, get a quick shower.
Yeah.
So
rinse off.
Not everybody's going to do that. So
To keep
here's
the
what you got to do.
longevity.
You got to make sure you're backwashing. Again, if you have somebody in the pool, and I'm going to give you a quick little example of this. When I lived down in Texas for quite a while with my ex-wife, wife, sorry. So when I was living down there, we did the state of McGregor's pool, or the city of McGregor's public pool. Every year before I started doing the pool, every single year they would get shut down by the state that comes in and looks at the pool because it would get cloudy by like noon, 1 o'clock. Okay. So they were scratching their heads trying to figure out, okay, how do we stop this? Well, what I did is I told them, all right, here's what you want to do. People are wearing suntan lotion in there and you have sand filters. So what you want to do is you want to backwash 3 times a day. I told them to backwash in the morning as soon as they got there, the guy that took care of the pool. We used to vac it and we would check chemicals, but only once a week. The superintendent for the pool was there every day. So I said, backwash it when you get in the morning, first thing before anybody gets there. That takes care of whatever was in there the night before. Then you want to backwash it like 11 o'clock in the morning. Backwash it again, 11:30. Backwash it again. Then backwash it right before you go home because he left before the pool was closed. When they started doing that, the state came out and looked at that pool, and the guy was smoking impressed. He goes, dude, this is the cleanest public pool, the clearest public pool I have ever been to. What are you doing? And they told him what I told him to do, and he goes, this guy's really good. You need to listen to him. So just an FYI for you guys, that's how to keep your pools from getting real cloudy when you have a big bather load. And guys, not everybody's going to listen to you about not wearing suntan lotion, especially on kids. And I get it, I do. But there's a way to battle it as long as you're consistent with it and you take the time to do it. There's ways to battle that, which is backwashing. Okay? All right, now, chemistry. Here's what I do with chemistry, and we do this with all of our pools. When the hot weather starts coming in, when you start getting really hot like we are now, okay, we bump our chlorine level up. We usually keep our pools our service pools at around 10. Okay?
As much as we can.
As much as we can. It's not going to hurt you. 20 will not hurt you. Trust me. I had an ex-wife whose mom used to keep their pool to 50 because she didn't listen to me. She listened, but she put her floaters in there, what I told her to do, but she kept 2 floaters in there. She just kept them in there all the time, and I told her, the chlorine's too high. No, I like it there. Oh, my God. Okay, it didn't hurt anybody. It didn't hurt anybody. It didn't bleach any clothes. Now, you get much higher than that, it's going to start bleaching clothes. But she was at a 50 because I used to dip test it. That's before we had computers. But she was at a 50, and it didn't hurt anybody. I recommend keeping it around a 10. Okay? Make sure you're checking your pH and your alkalinity levels. Alkalinity level controls pH fluctuation, and pH controls pH controls chlorine usage. pH and alkalinity too high or too low will cause burny, itchy skin, burny, itchy eyes. It is not the chlorine that causes that. It's the pH levels, pH and alkalinity levels being either too high or too low. So you want to make sure you keep them right. You want your pH about 7.5. 7.5 is the pH of the human eye. So that's why they want pH at 7.5. I usually tell people to keep it between 7.4 and 7.6. 7.4 is not too low. 7.6 is not too high. You get to 7.8, 7.3, 2. It's not too low, but try to keep it 7.4 to 7.6. That way you're right in there. 7.2 is still on the OK. It's low on the OK scale, and 7.8 is high on the OK scale. But you're still in the OK range. Just try to keep between 7.4 and 7.6. Alkalinity you want right around 100. 80 is good on the low scale. 120 is good on the high scale. Yeah, it's high on the good scale. 80 is low on the good scale. So that's why I just say 100. 100's down the middle for all the different pool finishes, whether it's painted, concrete painted, concrete gunite, vinyl liner, or fiberglass. All right, that's good for all the finishes because all the finishes want a couple of finishes want different levels. Like some of them want 120, but 100 is still good. That's why I say 100. Make it easy on yourselves, guys. Put everything in the middle. 100 for the alkalinity. 7.4 to 7.6 for pH. That way you can never be off. And keep your chlorine in and around like anywhere from, for a pool. If you look at the container of the sticks, for a pool they want your chlorine between a 1 and a 3. That's great. For a hot tub they want you between a 3 and a 5. But and the hot tub is because it's heated. I bring them up higher when you have this kind of weather. When you have a lot of heat, you have rain coming, bodies in the pool, you're adding water because of splash out, that's still fresh water. Again, as usual, if you guys have any questions, you know how to contact us. Contact Tammy, 610-780-3614. Always text first. Always, always, always text first. We get a lot of spam calls. And if you do call and you don't leave a message, you're not going to get a call back because it's going to come in as spam unless you're in our phone, okay, or her phone. All right. What else? Make sure you're running your pools during the day while the sun is out. During the day, running the pool does a few different things, and I've said this on other lives, but I'll say it again because we're doing extreme heat, and this falls right into place with that. The extreme heat can evaporate water. With the water running, and make sure your jets are facing, if you're looking down at the pool, like your jet is right below you on the same side, you're looking down at it, you want it facing between 1 and 2 o'clock. Okay? So it causes this action. Counterclockwise motion is what you want in your pool.
Picture Maya.
Anyway, you want counterclockwise motion in your pool. Here's why. Anything that falls into the pool, debris-wise, will get corkscrewed from the center, come all the way to the outside, and as it comes around to the outside, when it comes around to the skimmer, it gets sucked in. If you go clockwise, it's going to clockwise everything to the center of the pool, and then it's going to drop to the bottom. If it's counterclockwise and it's getting pushed to the outside, it'll get sucked into the skimmer, and what does that do? Keeps the bottom of the pool cleaner. Okay? It's a pool trick. It's an old tech trick. So that's number one reason. Number two reason you want the jet facing up and in a circular motion in the pool. Those waves keep the sun can't really beat through the water as much to A, evaporate it as fast, and B, beat the chemicals out of the pool. Okay, so you always want them facing up. Okay? The other thing is you can look out your window and see if the pool's running. So there's a couple different reasons for it. Okay? Trying to think if there's anything else. Is there anything you want to add to this?
Not that I can think of.
Are there any questions from anybody watching?
Stay hydrated.
Yes, please make sure you're all staying hydrated. If there's any questions, hit me up with them now, guys. Guys, gals. I don't know who all's watching. I think it's John and your dad, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure if Pop's actually watching or not. Hi, Dad, if you're watching. I think you are. Yeah, if you have any questions, now will be the time to hit it. Wait, that didn't come out right. You knew what I mean.
I get it.
If you know other pool owners, guys, tell them to check out what we're doing. Tell them to check out our YouTube channel at Cvpoolpros 16. Follow us on our Instagram, Facebook, and TikToks at Cvpoolpros. We do not have a website anymore. We got rid of it. But follow us because, as John knows, I'm sure, and a lot of other people know, we do a lot of lives. We try to give you guys as much information as we can. There's a lot of videos, pool school videos and tech tip videos on our YouTube channel to help you guys that are like do-it-yourselfers. And even some of our customers watch a lot of them. Some of the customers get cool information out of it. They still have us do their pools, but they just want to know the information. And that's really cool. We love the educated customer. We want our customers educated. We don't want you to not know what's going on with your pool. So it's a really good idea to keep checking back. Check what we're doing. We're constantly doing videos and uploading them. Okay? This video is being uploaded there right now as I'm doing this. Once I get off this, it's going to upload it automatically right to our YouTube channel. Okay? Follow our YouTube channel. Subscribe and make sure you hit that notifications bell. That way you're notified when we go live and you're notified when a video was uploaded. New video was uploaded. Okay. What else? If you do get green, brown, black, cloudy, whatever, and you can't get it back, do yourself a favor. Please do not go to the stores. Do not go into your community bulletin boards on Facebook and ask what people did.
I mean, they can go into the stores.
I mean, you can.
But if nothing gets cleared up in a reasonable amount of time, then obviously what they're telling you to do is bullshit.
If you go to the store
and not working.
If you go to the store any more than 2 times and there's no change in your pool, something's wrong. They're not telling you to do the right shit. Sorry.
Yeah.
It's a fact. We usually go to a customer's house, and within the first visit, usually within the first visit, they're seeing a change in the pool. So if you're going to the pool store any more than twice with no change,
and you're just
stop.
spending money,
and you're just spending money on chemicals, stop, because you're wasting your money. Okay, you're wasting money and you're wasting precious time. Contact us. We'll lead you in the right direction the best we can. We will ask certain questions that give us the info we need. We may tell you to test the water and send us test results if you're not in PA. If you want us to come out, we'll come out. Obviously, it's going to cost, but we'll come out. We'll get you guys flying right. We have probably cleaned up anywhere from 12 to 15 pools so far this year already, and it's only July.
Month.
Huh?
In the past month.
In the past 2 months. It's probably been 12 to 15 pools. Every one of them are now crystal clear. We just got word today. Every one of them are crystal clear. A couple of them are waiting for vax, but every one of them, everything dropped, everything's clear. And one of them was brown. No lie, it was brown. Like shit brown. Baby shit brown. It looked like diarrhea. Seriously, it looked like diarrhea. It was brown. It was nasty. I've cleaned up pools that were black. No shit, as black as my watch band. I have it in my phone. It had foam in it. It was disgusting. It was closed for 5 years. So, and I clean that up, not running, all chemicals. Every pool we clean up is all chemicals. We do not run them. We never run them when we clean them. Never. No reason to. Because the chemicals we use. Okay? Anyway, if you get yourself into a bind, if the pool gets away from you, it's okay. We got you covered. Contact us. 610-780-3614. Texting is best. Send us your picture of your pool, a couple pictures of your pool, even maybe from different angles, a picture of the filter system. Okay? Send us your full name, your city and state you live in. Please give us city and state, because there's cities that are the same in other areas. Believe me, we found that out the hard way. City and state you live in, and just put in there what service you need. Even if it's our back to blue service, which is green to clean and cloudy to clear. They fall under the back to blue service. Even if it's that and we can see the pool, we know what it is as soon as we look at it. Okay? But just put it in there. Put back to blue. And if you want multiple services, put them in there so that we know what you're asking for. Okay? We will look at the pictures. We'll figure out what we think, and then Tammy's going to contact you with questions. Answer the questions honestly to the best of your ability, because that gives us a lot of information. A ton of information. Okay? And then we can start getting you on the process of flying right. We know what direction to take you. Okay? The other way to do it is by email, which is cvpoolpros@gmail.com. Okay? We will get you folks flying right. Okay? What we want to do, our main focus, our main goal is to get you folks swimming in as little time as possible with as little money as possible. Okay? We're not out to rip anybody off. We're not out. Every job, the way I look at it, every job's not $1 million job. We want you guys swimming. Your pool's supposed to be enjoyable. It's not supposed to be a money pit. Okay? We try to get you swimming as fast and accurate as quickly and as little financial strain as possible.
Because let's face it, having pools is not a cheap thing.
No, it's not. She's 100% right. Having pools is not cheap to begin with. You really don't want to have to be spending your whole damn bank account to get the thing clean. And you shouldn't have to. Here's the thing, folks. There's a reason the pool went south. There's a reason behind it. And it's not always chlorine. These people say, oh, just shock it. What if you have chlorine in the pool already? Shock it, it's not going to do shit. All you're doing is raising the level of chlorine. If there's an underlying issue that has nothing to do with the chlorine, more chlorine is not going to help you. You have to solve the underlying issue. If you don't solve the underlying issue, you're not fixing the problem. All you're doing, and we had 2 pools now. No, we've had more than that. We've had at least a half a dozen of those type of pools, actually. They would go to these pool stores, would tell them, oh yeah, put shock in it. You already had a chlorine level. Shock is not going to do anything. You already had a chlorine level. So that makes literally no sense. So this is why we're saying we know the questions to ask. We know what to look for. We know what to check for to give you the right answer from the start. And it may be a case of, if you're not in our area and you contact Tammy, the first thing we're going to tell you is, other than the pictures, please go get your water tested. Do it yourself or go get a computer tested. I would prefer a computer test. If you go get a computer test, send us a picture of the results of the computer test. Because that's like we were out there testing with our computer. There's a reason we ask for that. That test gives us very valuable information.
And the pictures.
And the pictures give us very... Let me put it to you this way. If we were coming out to your house, that's exactly what we would be doing. We need the pictures first. That gives us an idea of where you're at. Tammy's going to ask you a bunch of questions, and then we're going to come out and we're going to test the water. That's exactly the sequence that we use on every cleanup that we do. You ask anybody that we've cleaned their pool up, and that's exactly the same way we do it with every single person. You send us the pictures first. Tammy contacts you and asks you a bunch of questions pertaining to what your pictures look like to give us information, and then we come out and we test it with our computer. Then we're able to give you real world, okay, this is what we need to do. This is direction we need to take. This is what could happen, or this is what could happen. It could go either one of these directions. We will give you every step of the way. Okay? That's how we work. All right? It's a scientific, planned process. Clearing up a pool. It's a process. It's a process. You cannot rush the process. We can't sweet talk the chemicals and tell them they work faster. Can't do it. Okay? It's a process. You have to trust it.
If your pool is green and you want to say, okay, it's Wednesday, I want to get in by Friday, then you've waited way too long. Don't expect any pool company to be able to come. I mean, it can be done depending on the severity.
There's no guarantees, though.
Right, there's no guarantee.
I mean, I've cleaned pools up. I've cleaned pools up very fast, but there's no guarantee. And I will never guarantee that time.
My point is, don't wait until the last minute and expect somebody to rush because of your negligence.
Right. We can't help that you got away from it. I mean, it is what it is.
Your part is not an emergency on ours or anybody else's.
Right. So, and we don't mean that to be pricks, but you guys know how we are. We tell it like it is. It's not, your pool has to be dealt with scientifically.
As soon as
the problem starts.
Yeah.
And here's another secret. If you get in your pool, every time you get in your pool or every time you go to your pool, feel the walls. Why? Algae starts clear. Algae does not start green. There's a tip for you. If you feel your walls and your walls feel slimy, you already have algae. And it just hasn't turned to green yet.
And nobody has worn any kind of lotion or anything, then yeah.
Right. If you have slimy walls or floor, you have algae in your pool already. It starts clear. So you want to get chlorine in it, and then you want to get algicide in it right away. 60% algicide is what we use. That's all we use. 60% algicide. Okay? You want to get that in there.
Any less you're wasting.
Huh? Yeah. Any less
than
is a waste.
60%
Don't
is
use
waste.
30. Don't use 10.
Don't use 2 bottles of 30.
Yeah, no. 60% algicide and shock, whether it's liquid or the bags. Okay? I think that's really all I've got. I just wanted to kind of get this information out to you guys. I'm really glad these videos are helping you folks out there. John Wagner, again, thank you very much for the positive feedback. John actually said that's a 100% great idea for pool people doing the Q&A live. He thinks that's a great idea.
Yeah.
If there's no questions, I'll give it like another 30 seconds. If there's no questions, I'm going to get going. I want to thank everybody. I want to thank all of our customers. You guys are awesome. We love you guys to death. I want to thank everybody that is supporting all the lives and everything that we're doing. Daniel, is it Friday yet?
Yeah, because that's when we be installing the new filter.
Not yet. Not yet.
Woo!
We have the filter. We have it sitting outside. Can't wait to get back and get that installed. How's the pool looking, Danielle? Is the pool looking good still? Danielle's pool, for those of you who don't know, Danielle's one we helped clean up. So far, so good. Cool. Good. And, you know, guys, another thing. And you know what? Here's actually a really good point. Nice. Good job, girl. You know what Tammy and I are noticing a lot, which is a shame? Undersized filtration systems.
Yeah.
On swimming pools. We are seeing this a lot.
And you know what? You know when it happens a lot?
Flippers.
Flippers and
House flippers.
And
people selling.
Things are wrong and people are selling their houses.
Say it louder.
And
yeah.
They need to get something on there quick.
Yep.
Let's just throw a freaking... We have seen pond pumps.
Yes, literally. Pond filter system.
On like 18 and 24 round pools.
Not 24, but 18. Yeah. Pond filter systems. No joke. Real small. Real tiny. On a freaking pool.
You can get away with that on an Intex.
Get away with that maybe on an Intex, but you're not going to get away with that on an 18 round or bigger pool. Especially if the pool goes south.
It should never... I don't care what size it is. You shouldn't have a pond pump.
No, they're too small. You don't have enough area to clear. So, too small of filters on pools is a very common... We actually have 2 systems we're going to be doing. Danielle's is one, and we have another one that we're going to be doing that's getting a big filter because they have a little tiny... They're an in-ground. They're a big in-ground.
They're an in-ground, and they have...
With a diving board.
They have a...
They have a bump EC bump
DE.
piece of shit DE filter that is too small for the pool.
Yep. Whoever put that...
Not only that, the fingers in that... That was also a flipper. So we are seeing this a lot with flips, guys. Flip houses. They're putting cheap shit systems on them that are not designed for the size pool. Not designed for the gallonage.
I want to speak a little bit on that.
You didn't make coffee, did you?
No, because you said don't worry about it.
That's fine.
When we and Danielle and this new one, when we come out there for an issue,
we look at everything, number one.
Yeah, and we see, oh my God, they got a system and it's a piece of shit and it's way too small and they're going to have problems with this the entire fucking time. We let you know, look, it is going to be a problem. We don't go looking to say, hey, your system's a piece of shit. But
we're going to tell you that.
If the pool gets clear, once we leave that backyard, you're probably going to have issues because the system is not going to be able to keep up, and it's going to be an ongoing, constant problem. And rather having you keep on shelling out money, it's easier to have the expense from the get-go,
Right.
and you're set for years to come, rather than going and spending thousands and thousands and thousands more of dollars just to try to keep it clear so you can swim.
Danielle,
So
see what Danielle said?
yeah,
We did.
and you know what? We do. We usually say, I hate to say this, but
your filter system's a piece of shit. I'm not going to sugarcoat. I'm going to be honest with you. And you know what? That's what's gaining us a lot of customers. Danielle's laughing about it because that's exactly what we said. That's I don't hide shit.
Yeah.
Look, your filter system's a piece. That's what we told these new people.
Yep.
We said, I hate to tell you this, but your filter system's a piece of shit. And they were like, really? Like, yeah, this is junk. And we're selling them a sand system. They want a sand system on it. And now you do know us, though, Danielle. Now you do know us. So this closing season is going to be totally different for you.
And
we wish you would have met us before, too.
Some of these systems were good back in the day, but they're always evolving stuff, coming out with the, bigger and better things. And
the problem is the EC, Hayward EC line of filters, they're junk. They were the cat's meow back in the day, 20, 30 years ago, whatever it was. Actually, more than that, probably 40 years ago. They were the cat's meow back then. But the problem that they have is they're not efficient. And the bump handle on top, the bump handle originally was metal. Well, it used to break the top of the tank, the lid that it bolted to. Well, instead of making the lid then metal where it bolted to, they made the handle plastic, and now the handle breaks real easy. Junk. I can't stand them. And then they're a pain in the ass to take apart because they got all the bolts around top. Thank you, Danielle. We appreciate you, dear.
Make sure to keep all your fuzzies nice and cool during the heat.
There's Bear, our little ferret.
I actually brought the little plastic pool inside and put a little bit of water on in so he can enjoy. Say, fuzzies, keep the fuzzies cool. Keeping the fuzzies cool.
Anyway, really hoping this information helps you guys out. If you have questions, again, please don't hesitate to hit us up. We're always here to help. We enjoy what we do. We love seeing you guys. We love seeing you guys swimming. I mean, like I said, and we've told all of our customers this year what we are seeing in the pool industry this year is unfathomable with the lack of knowledge. I pride myself on having you too, Danielle. Thank you for tuning in, sweetheart. We will see you soon. Be safe, stay cool, and enjoy that pool. The lack of knowledge in this industry anymore, especially local, is, and I would imagine it's everywhere, but especially locally, is astounding. I mean, we're just blown away by the lack of knowledge. It is what it is. There's nothing we can do about it except we can keep moving everything forward. Thank you, honey. Thank you. We can keep moving forward, spreading the truth and making sure people stay swimming as much as possible. You're going to have those people that don't listen, and unfortunately, that's their problem. Tough shit, as I always say. I try to lead. What's the saying? You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. All right. Anyway, I've been on here about 45 minutes, so I'm going to let everybody go. Thank you for tuning in. I hope this video helps. Everybody have a great day. Be safe. We'll talk to you all soon. And again, if you need any help, you know how to hit us up, and we'll get you flying right. All right. Cvpoolpros out. Later. See you on the next one.